Hello and welcome to another episode of Toxic Love Transformation. I am your host, Stephanie McPhail. And today I am excited to talk to you about the fears that we have about leaving and ending a toxic relationship. So, for all of you, this might be your first time coming and hanging out with us. Welcome. For those of you that have come and hung out with us a lot of times, I always love seeing you. For anyone who is new, I just want to kind of share really quickly. I've been doing this for a long time. I have been helping women leave, heal, and thrive from toxic relationships for more than 11 years at this point. And the reason why I became so passionate about it is because I myself was someone who was successful in my career. I was doing well for myself in other areas of my life. But when it came to relationships, I kept choosing the wrong types of people. And then I would do everything in my power to try to make it work. I didn't know when to let go. I tried to research to figure it out, to figure out what I was doing wrong so that I could help the relationship and fix it and work on them because I saw their potential, all the while losing myself in the process. And so since then, since leaving and doing the work and figuring out who I was, I've been an international speaker. I've had two books that have become number one new releases in my genre of healing from toxic relationships. And I've been working with my husband, David, to help women really heal and thrive after unhealthy relationships. So I really do understand what you're dealing with. And I want you to know that you are not alone and you are able to change and create the shifts that you are looking for. So I say that just to kind of give you a heads up that I'm not someone that just talks about this. I live it, I breathe it, and I am super passionate about helping women heal. And you will hear it. Whenever I talk to anybody, when I do it, I did a summit today. People are always like, I can hear how passionate you are about helping people. And I truly am. You know, this is something that is a calling. This is something that I love to be able to do because what I know all too well that when you are stuck in that toxicity, it's hard to see out of it. But one of the reasons why we feel stuck and why I want to talk about this today, the real purpose of today's session is that I want you to see the fears that we have. I want you to know why we feel stuck as professional women in these toxic relationships. And I want you to leave this session with real clarity and courage and some real actionable steps so that you can start creating that life that you deserve. So if you're ready to dive in, dive in the comments. Thanks for all the love. I appreciate it. Comment, dive in the comments, and let's jump into this because, again, so important. And I am here to support you. So if you need any help and you are not able to watch it live, you can always tag me and I can come back and answer any questions. If you are watching this where you can't tag me, just send me a DM and we can talk later as well. So one of the reasons why, as professional women, we have a hard time letting go of that unhealthy relationship is because we are afraid that we are going to seem weak. What if I admit that my life is not as good as I am pretending it to be? What if people see me as the person that can't control their own life? But you might be the person that everybody else goes to. So you're used to being the one that everybody else comes to you. But for some reason, we have a hard time asking for help from other people. We are used to being the one that we are the leaders, the bosses, the problem solvers. But when we ask for help or feel like we should be asking for help, we feel like we're a failure. But in reality, it's a powerful act of self-awareness and courage to ask for help. It shows that you want growth. It shows that you want change. And I'll tell you that if you are someone who is a professional, you know that if someone that is working for you doesn't know what they're doing and they don't ask for help, what are you going to think about them? Why would they keep trying to figure it out on their own when they could just ask me and I can give them the answer? So we would know that for someone that works for us, but when it comes to ourselves, we got to figure it out on our own. I used to say all the time, I could be literally on fire and drowning. And when people would ask me how I was doing, I would lie to their face and say, I'm doing great. Everything is wonderful. But we need to be able to ask for help in the areas that we don't know. You're not supposed to be an expert in toxic relationships. You're not supposed to be an expert in narcissism. But a lot of us become that because we're so afraid of asking for help. We read all the books, we do all the research, we do all these things because we're too afraid of asking for help. So we become experts, but we still feel stuck. I did that. And the reason why we do that is, again, because we don't want to feel like we're asking for help. We don't want to bother anybody, all of that. We don't want to feel like we don't know what we're doing. But we become these experts and we still don't know how to change. And the reason for that is because we can't read the label from inside the bottle. We do not know what we are doing wrong. We are not experts. We are not meant to be experts in the toxic relationship recovery realm because you have other gifts that you were put here to do. And so hopefully this is a time in your life that's going to pass. You're going to have an expert come in and help you, ask for that help, and then you're going to go out and change the world and do all those cool things that you were put here to do. But it is not weak to ask for help. So that's number one of those fears that professional women have about healing from these toxic relationships and getting help. Number two, we are afraid of judgments. Oh my gosh, was I so afraid of judgment. I remember telling one of my colleagues that I was going through a divorce and I felt like I'd eaten a frog. I was like I kept wanting to close my mouth, and I was so worried about what he was going to say because he was the one who always came to me. And in fact, at some point he's like, you are the one who has it together. But he had said that not because I was pretending so well. It's because it was obvious that things weren't going right. And I kept pretending. And I felt like water was just going through my hands. I wasn't able to hold on to that lie, and he was seeing through it. And luckily he was good enough to call me out on it. But I was so deeply attached to that person that I was, of the go-getter, the caretaker, the savior of all. That was who I thought, and I felt like I was. I didn't want anyone to seem like I didn't know what I was doing. That fear of judgment from our colleagues, our friends, our family, of not having it all together. But again, the truth is that seeking support shows that you value yourself enough to invest in your healing. It shows that you value your future, you value others, you value your children enough to take care of yourself. And that's huge, because if you don't take care of yourself and you don't make yourself a priority, guess what? Nobody else is going to. If you don't make yourself a priority, the people in your life are not going to make you a priority. And if you can't ask for help and receive help, then you're not going to get all the gifts that are there for you. You'll never get that healthy, wonderful, amazing partner that you say that you want, because you can't even accept the love and the support and the help that people give you. We have to be not just the givers. We have to be the receivers as well. Even the most powerful cars need maintenance. Even the most powerful business people need support. The most successful people in the world are not people that live in a bubble and do it all by themselves. They have a team of people that also are interested in what they are doing in order to move forward. We don't do this on our own. Another reason why professional women are afraid to ask for help and leaving this toxic relationship is the fear of losing control. We're not controlling. I mean, we are, but we're doing it out of love. We see their potential. We want them to be the best version of themselves. So we want to fix it. But as the fixers, that we actually take away the power of the other person that we are trying to fix. And they might not want to be fixed. So we are literally losing our time and energy trying to fix someone that doesn't want to be fixed, and in fact pushes harder because they don't want to be fixed. So they don't want to listen at all. We have to be able to let go of control. I know it can feel terrifying, and I know that you probably learned that from your family of origin that taught you that you needed to control the situation if not things got out of control. But it's one of the best things we can start learning how to do is learning when to let go. If you've been in a relationship where control was used against you and you're afraid to lose control, I get it. But reaching out and getting help is not about losing control. It's actually about gaining the right type of control back on your own terms, gaining control back of your life, not everybody else's life. You got to let that go. And even part of gaining control of your life is also letting go as well. However, you can be more in charge of your outcome if you are focusing on the right things in order to heal. But we don't do that by continuing to do the same things that we've always done. Another reason why professional women are afraid of asking for help and healing from toxic relationships is that we are afraid of facing the pain. It hurts. It's not easy to go through this toxic cycle. It's not easy to look at the areas that we have made mistakes. It is not easy to look at the time that we have lost. It is not easy to look at the possibility that we made a wrong choice. that we have some things that we need to work on. It's difficult for us to look at the areas of our lives that have kept us stuck. Maybe we haven't wanted to deal with something that happened in our childhood and we kept avoiding. And now here we are in this place where we don't even want to be and we can't avoid anymore. Because now is the time that we have to actually heal. If we want to heal, we need to face the pain. We cannot avoid anymore. One of the biggest things that I help clients with is helping them to stop avoiding or stopping avoid, to avoid their things, however that is. We cannot avoid these things. They are big deals. And the more we suppress them, the more they come out in other ways. So we need to stop avoiding that pain. We need to look at it so that we can let it go, not avoid and push back down. I have a current client of mine that she is afraid to feel anger. So as soon as she starts to feel it, it's like a pressure cooker. She pushes it back down. Over time, that causes us mental health issues. It causes us physical health issues, causes all sorts of other problems. So we've kept and suppressed everything to try to make everybody else happy. And we are not happy in the end. You cannot avoid facing your pain forever. At some point, you are going to have to deal with it. But the deal is that you want to deal with it without feeling overwhelmed. You need to be, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to feel raw. You're not going to love it. Not going to lie. But you need to look at that pain that you are having and stop avoiding in order for you to heal. We do not heal by avoiding the pain. So that part of you that has tried to, I have to avoid in order to be okay and do all these things, I will tell you that the sooner you stop avoiding and you work through that pain, the more you will heal, the better you will feel, the healthier people that you will allow into your lives. And then the next thing is the fear of the unknown. Why do professional women avoid? Why do we not get help in healing from these toxic relations? Because we don't know. It is the unknown. If you've always had unhealthy relationships, then who am I if I am not in this unhealthy relationship? If I am the one who is the go-to, who will I be if I'm not? Do we have to change all those things about ourselves? What areas of our lives do we actually have to change? Change can be scary. But I want you to think about staying stuck. How does that feel? Is it scarier to be stuck or scarier to change? I'll give you that change allows possibility. Scary, but at least it's possibility. At least there's something different that can happen. When I left my first marriage, I was scared to death, but I knew that it gave me the slightest possibility that maybe something can be better. Maybe there was something better out there that I was not aware of, but I knew I couldn't do it the way that I was living my life currently. What if there is another life out there waiting for you that is more beautiful than you ever could have imagined, and you are keeping that life from happening because of that fear of the change? There is something more for you, but we have to get out of our own way. And doing it ourselves feels really overwhelming because we want to go back to what feels comfortable, even though that is actually uncomfortable and keeping us stuck. So here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to take out a piece of paper. If you've come to one of these before, you know that I always like to give homework assignments. Former teacher will always give you work because there's things that I want you to do to start putting into action what you all are learning while you are here. And I'd like you to take out that piece of paper and I want you to divide it into 2 columns. And in column 1, I want you to write down the biggest fears that you have about asking for help or leaving the relationship. So that is column 1. The biggest fears you have about asking for help or leaving the relationship. And you might have to do this after because I can't take too much time, but I want you to have this written down. And of course, you can always watch the replay and press pause. Column 2, I want you to write down what would happen if you don't take action. And so for now, really quickly, write down 1 or 2 things of your biggest fears. And again, you can always add to this after. Your biggest fears about asking for help or leaving the relationship. And then column 2 is write down what would happen if you don't take action. And again, whatever comes up first, And you can always go back to this because I bet you there is more than whatever you write. I normally recommend 5 minutes, but because of I'm live and I don't want to waste too much time, I will stop there. I want you to now look at your list. And I want you to think about what is scarier. Is it scarier, or is the fear more of asking for help, or is the fear scarier staying stuck? What is the cost of you staying stuck? What's scarier, asking for help or staying stuck? And what is the cost to staying stuck? Write down whatever comes to mind. And I encourage you to share your comments down below. I want to be able to build community, and I want you to start normalizing your experiences, because the more that we share what we're going through, the more that others can learn from it as well, and the less embarrassing it is, because we have all the shame and guilt about what we are going through, when the reality is that those feelings are okay. Our feelings are always okay. And when we share them, we lessen them. And not only do we lessen them, but we're not avoiding them. We are being honest with ourselves, and we're also opening it up to helping others as well. So I would encourage you, you don't have to write your comments in the comment section. And then feel free to comment on whatever anybody else is writing as well. All right. Second little activity for you. I want you to think about reframing, or we'll take a step back. I want you to think about reframing that asking for help is actually empowerment. Seeking support is an investment in yourself. It's the ultimate act of self-respect and strength. So when you get that help, when you get that support, and you start creating that life that you want, now all of a sudden you're going to start losing weight. You're going to get that better job. You're going to have that ultimate relationship that you might have never had before, that you didn't think was possible. You might be able to travel the world and do all those cool things that you wanted to do, but you kept putting off. You might not feel so overwhelmed anymore because you've learned how to say no. You've made yourself a priority. Seriously, think about all the amazing things that you get to do once you start to heal. And once you start to have those healthy boundaries and create that beautiful life for yourself. What does that look like? So seeking support is an investment in yourself and your future. And it also is an investment in others as well, because they get to get the positive and reap the positive benefits of you creating your best life. Go back to what I was saying before, activity 2. This one, we're going to call this thriving, your thriving future visualization. Okay, so that's what we're going to call it. And what I'd like you to do is I want you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose, let it out through your mouth. Let's do 3 breaths. Another 2 more. In through your nose, hold it, breathe out. 1 more, breathe in through your nose, hold it, breathe out. Keeping your eyes closed. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine yourself a year from now. And allow whatever comes to your mind to come to mind. Just imagine, are you in a field somewhere? Are you with friends? Imagine how things are for you in a year from now. Imagine that you faced your fears. You got that support that you needed. You healed. What does your life look like? How do you feel now that you've done all this work? Now that you're on the other side, maybe not when you're in it, because when you're in it, it sucks. But now you're on the other side. How do you feel? And then who is around you? What types of people are around you? Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Open your eyes. I want you to write down 1 step that you can take today towards that vision that you just had. It might be scary, it might feel overwhelming, but I want you to write down 1 step that you can take today to start creating that vision that you had, even if it was just a brief moment. I want you to really think about that. Because as we write down the steps and we take action on it, we start to create that change. Those little small steps over time become great big changes. So with those little steps, when we write it down, we make it more real. We can look back and then we can take action on that step. I recommend, again, for you to write down whatever you wrote of what your step is in the comments so the rest of us can see it, and we can hold each other accountable on those steps that we're going to take. If you leave this today and you do this thing and then the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, all of a sudden you're going to be taking all these steps and you're going to look back and you're like, holy shit, who is that person that used to be there? I loved her, but I loved her enough that I wanted to create the new me. And look at me now. Look at how things have changed because I decided to take that step. Start taking that action today. All right. Well, if today's session really resonated with you, and hopefully really this helps, again, I am here to help you. Hopefully I inspired, hopefully I motivated you. But if you're ready to move beyond the fear and into the thriving, I'd love to support you on your journey. I have a coaching program that's designed specifically for professional women like you who are really ready to heal and reclaim their power to create that big, beautiful, amazing life that they are not sure how to do it, but they have this calling that something might be better for themselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave in the comments a link to set up a breakthrough blueprint call with me. You can also just go to beinglovedshouldn'thurt.com and just look up breakthrough blueprint call. Click there. But again, I will leave that in the comments as well so that you can go there. And free discovery call. We have some availability this week that is opened up for you. Go ahead and set up that call and let's talk about it. We have a variety of different options for you. So depending on what your ability is and, money-wise, time-wise, all that, let's look at what's going to be the best choice for you in order to really heal and create that amazing life that is there. You just don't know how to get there. It's like, again, grasping for air right now. Like, that there's something else there, but all of these fears that we talked about are holding you back. Fear doesn't have to hold you back anymore. You have the strength to take this step, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. So reach out today because your future self is thanking you. It is already there in existence, begging you to decide to make that change, to get out of your own way and start creating that life, because life is short. And on that deathbed, you want to look back and be like, damn, that was fun. The good, the bad, the crazy, all that stuff. Wow. How lucky am I to have been able to do that? That's what we want. We want for you to live and have that beautiful, amazing life that you're excited about, not one that you're struggling with, that you feel like you're half of you. We want you to be in that place where you were like, yes, that was such a great experience, that whole living thing. And if it doesn't feel like that right now, let's get you there. So on that note, again, if you have any questions for me, you can feel free to send me a private message. I'm here to support you. I love being able to help people create their amazing lives. So I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with me today. I always love this time with you. Again, take me up on that brilliant blueprint. That blueprint discovery call. We don't even have to work together. Just take advantage of jumping in. Let's make up a plan and let's come up with the next steps to create that amazing life for yourself. So on that note, it was great hanging out with you. I will see you next time. And never forget, you are way stronger than you realize. Bye, everybody. Take care.